Welcome back to G Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. And here we are, out between the containers, because this is the next project in line. Now that water delivery's been made, I'm going to get going on getting this area closed in and secured. So anyway, my idea was originally I was going to just use the footing. That's got rebar in it, of course. I was going to use the footing as the base, where I was just going to set the door down on the footing. But then I started thinking, well, I'd like to have it up just a little bit higher than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a piece of pressure treated 2x6, which will fit right on top of that footing all the way across. That'll give me a nice straight line, and that'll be my base to build my wall on top of on the two sides, and put the door on top of in the middle, so that if we do have heavy rains that come washing down through here, they've got a mud sill here that'll keep everything from washing inside. So I'll be drilling through that and putting anchors down into the concrete, so that the 2x6 will be solid right where it goes. And then on the sides, I may go up with 2x6s just for the starter here, and then I'll put 2x4s aligned with the outside of the 2x6, so that my panel on the outside goes in place perfectly. And then on the inside, I haven't decided what I'm going to put on there. Probably just plywood, so I can hang tools and stuff like that on there if I have to. There won't be much on either side of this door, because that doorway is 8 foot wide, and this opening is 10 foot 1 1/4 inches wide. So there's just going to be just around a 1 foot, or about 13 inches on each side of the doorway. And this whole side is going to be a giant thing of triple tempered glass. So it'll be pretty solid, pretty secure. And I will probably put some type of a shade or a curtain on the inside, so I can block the sun from beating on through. But I can also swing the door open when I'm working in here and let some air flow. And once I get this wall up, the next part will be putting up the wall down on that end, and that'll give me a fairly secure area in here, but I won't have a roof on yet. But then that'll tell me how many pieces of wood I'm going to need to run my fascias along the sides of the two containers, and how many 2x6 rafters I'm going to need to go across there, and how many pieces of OSB roofing plywood I'll need, and how much tar paper I'll need, and how much torch down paper I'll need. So I am going to do a torch down up there because of the high winds out here. I don't think just regular 80-pound roll, even nailed, will be adequate up on top of there. So I will put torch down on that and make sure I seal it really well. Then down the line, I can bring a concrete truck in after I get this all graded inside of here and set the way I want it, and I'll pour a concrete slab in here all in one shot. And I'll probably do that with myself and maybe 2 other guys helping me, because most of it's going to be all pumped in, and I'll have a truck and a pump here, and the pump will spread it out pretty good. I also have a vibrator, concrete vibrator, for doing concrete forms, which also helps to level the concrete out real fast. And then I have a bull float and all of that stuff, so I can bull float this whole thing out. And I don't have to have a perfect, beautiful glass finish in here. It's going to be a workshop, mostly a workshop for running power tools and things like that. So I just want to smooth it enough so it's easy enough to sweep, but not slippery. All right, so we got that all taken care of. Let's move on up here to the tank. I'm going to show you, first I'm going to show you an idea I came up with, because we're talking about bugs getting in through the vent on the top cover. And I was informed that they make screens for those, and I was going to go over to the tank place where I bought the tank and see if I could get a screen for it. Then I got to thinking, well, why should I spend money on that when actually, like I said, the only place they get in is right through this little opening in the handle of the vent cap here. So I came up with this idea, and it's an expensive idea, so stay with me here. Okay, look inside there. You see that green mesh? That's one of these. It's a little scrubby. I got 8 of these for 99 cents at the dollar store. So what I'm going to do is take this thing and let's see if I can do this one-handed or not. I already did the other side two-handed, and I forced it all the way into place down through here. Now let's see, it's almost in there. There we go. Now when I put this back on and lock it into place, the bugs can't get in there anymore. How do you like that? An instant repair. It'll allow air to flow, but it won't let bugs in. Great job, if I have to say so myself. All right, and now for the oopsie doodle. Okay, I had left the, I shut off the valve yesterday before going to bed, and then I got up this morning and I turned it on. Hey, look, there's a wet spot on the ground. Yep, I turned the valve open to finish filling the barrels up because they were only about 3/4 full when I shut. No, yeah, they were about here yesterday when I shut that valve off. So I said, well, that took a long time to fill up that far, coming through that little 3/8 hole in the filter. So I turned it on this morning and I said, I'm going to let that thing let these fill up the rest of the way. Well, doggone it, I went and checked my mail. I forgot all about it. Then I said, well, I'm going to come up here and try putting that little scrubby up in there and see if that works, so I could add that to today's video. And guess what? There was water running on the ground here. So I lost probably a good 15 gallons, 10 to 15 gallons of water. I did get here and shut it off in time. And then I went through with my tool and I locked all the covers down solid and torqued them into place. So it is sealed off now, and I'm not worried about any more water running out. But I'm glad I caught that. If I'd have forgot about it and gone to bed tonight, I'd got up in the morning and my tank would be level at the tops of the barrels. So that was my oopsie for the day. Now we're going to do a quick run down to the garden house because I did a test on all of my totes and my manifolds and my hose connections and all of that today, and I made sure everything was working up to par. When I get down there, I'm also going to stop and do one other thing. Pepito, one of my subscribers, asked me about the place where I buy my mining supplies, and he wants to have me give him the address on it. So I figured, well, why just give it to one person when I'm sure other people out there might be interested in it? So I got the business card in my pocket, and I'm going to set it down inside here, and I'm going to show you both sides of the business card so it gives you time to get that information. Of course, you can always pause this video on YouTube, and so you can write everything down. And all right, so here we are, and I'm going to set the card right up here on top where the wind shouldn't get to it. And here we go. This is the place where I go to, and I'm going to flip it over because there's some information on the back. Now, when you go over there, be sure to tell them that G Bears Off-Grid Ways on YouTube posted this information for you. So that's how you found out about them. And you might be interested. They have classes on rock polishing and other things like that. And you can sign up for those. I don't know if there's any charge for it or not, but they're also looking for people that do prospecting and mining and stuff like that, that might happen in and do a special for one of their classes or a couple of their classes. So have fun over there. Tell Cindy and Lois that thanks, my sluice box is working great, and I'll be coming in to pick up another pump from them because I want a backup. The one I've got is working fine, but I want to get a backup. All right, so you've got all the information on this. I'm going to move around the garden here real quick and show you. Hey, look, we got color under there. Oh yeah, I got tomatoes that are starting to turn. My watermelon plant's coming out here. This little avocado tree is up about 7 inches tall now. I've got some green beans on my poles, pole beans. I got my squash here. I thinned out these pepper plants. I left 2 in this pot, and they're doing just great. And I did turn on the valve and fill the bottom gutter of this thing. And look at my lettuce down here, my iceberg lettuce. As hot as it is, it's 100 degrees out, and the lettuce is still growing, so that's a good thing. It likes it in here. So yeah, we got some tomatoes starting to blush on this plant. I got tomatoes blushing on this plant and that plant. That one looks like it's going to need to be tied up a little bit more. It's going out like crazy, and I'm going to have to start pruning some of the excess branches off there because and look at this, I got 2 birds inside of here. I don't know how they're getting in, but I'm going to have to do a close inspection because I've let them out a few times here already. And what I do to get them out of here is I prop the door open, and then I go to the other end, and they usually fly over to here and find the door open so they can get out. All right, so let's see if we can do that for them. And all right, guys, move on down the other end. Go the other way. Come on. There you go. That one got out. The other one's still over there wondering how to do it. They usually fly back and forth a few times before they see it. There he goes. So I got them both out. Now, I don't know how they're getting in here. And I got to find out, because if they can get in, ground squirrels can get in. Oh, I got another one trapped up in there. Looks like it didn't make it. It looks like it might have died. So I think they're getting in underneath the tarp here. And they're coming to an area where there's a lap on the wire and getting between that. So that's my next project, to set things aside for a little while and get this thing sealed up so the birds don't die anymore. All right, that's all. G-Bear reminding you, give me a thumbs up down there, like my videos, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, thank you and welcome aboard. And we're going to keep things going for this summer. G-Bear signing off.